And so here's just a random block. We're going to pretend it's a whole quilt. And here's a random piece of scrap I'm going to pretend is the border. What you want to do is fold your border in half, find the center of your quilt, match them up. And you're going to put them right sides together. And when you sew this onto your quilt, you're going to start a 1/4 of an inch in, you're going to sew, and you're going to stop a 1/4 of an inch before you get to the end. And then you'll do that on all of the sides. So I like to do it with the quilt top up so that I can see where my 1/4 of an inch is. And I just start to stop a 1/4 of an inch. That's about a 1/4 of an inch. I didn't measure it, but I'm guessing. I stop at a 1/4 of an inch before I get to the end, and I back tack because I don't want it to pull out. And then I do the next side the same way. So when I go to put the next side on, I want to make sure that I have enough of the second border that it's going to reach the total end of the quilt. So I can do that, hold it right sides together, and I make sure that's folded up in a way, and it shows me my 1/4 of an inch. And then when I lay this down and I look at the other side of it, getting ready to sew, I can see my 1/4 of an inch there as well. It's white, so it's a little hard, but I can see that that's where the 1/4 of an inch starts. So I'll fold that up, and I can see my stitches there, so I know where to put the needle in. That's the point that they all meet each other. So I'm going to put my needle in at that point and stitch the seam and end a 1/4 of an inch before the end of the seam. Okay, so here it is. My point is right in that mitered corner, so I'm going to just put my needle down at that intersecting point. It's actually over just a little bit more. And that's where I'll start my 1/4 of an inch seam. Okay, so you have your quilt, you fold it on the diagonal right sides together. And you're going to match up your border pieces exactly. Hi! And when you do that, and you flip down your seam allowance, you can see that intersecting point again. That's the point that we've been talking about, the intersecting point. So you do a diagonal, a 45-degree angle from that intersecting point towards the outer corner. If you don't want to measure with a ruler your 45-degree angle, you just can fold your fabric on a 45 and then just finger press it or press it with an iron. It'll give you a crease that you can follow. So you can put your needle in on that intersecting point and follow that crease. My needle into the intersecting point, and then I come right out to the corner on that fold. If you use a very short stitch, you don't have to worry about back tacking. And you can see this is the miter corner that's important. You open it up and you open up your seam because your seam's going to open and press flat. And then this corner should just lay flat right on top like that. And then you know if it's all laying flat, it's good to trim, and you can trim away your excess fabric.